Welcome back, guys. Today we're going to be finishing the rest of the bus build, and so yeah, hopefully enjoy it, and let's get into it. Oh, if you haven't, like and subscribe. Yeah, do that. That'd be great. Yeah, so go for it. So, right when we got the bus back from it getting painted, we went straight into cutting out spots for toolboxes for more storage. Cutting out these sections wasn't terribly difficult. It was pretty simple. Just use the angle grinder. Once I got those cut out, I had to get brackets welded for the toolboxes so that they can be put on. Luckily, I got a buddy. Shout out Justin. Appreciate you. While that was happening, I went ahead and did the stairs, got that done. And doing these stairs was pretty simple. I basically just sanded everything down, painted it. Once that dried, I went ahead and put this foam matting down. What that actually is this foam type of matting that a lot of people get for their boats because it's super good for weatherproofing and you have wet feet and whatnot on it. Not a big deal. And the goal for that was for me to put wet shoes and whatnot down there, and that has worked out amazing. And from there, I just lined up the walls with wood, so that makes it look flush and clean. Right here you see my buddy Justin out here doing the Lord's work, welding together these brackets for me, which was pretty cool to see because I'm not a welder, but it was really cool to see. From there we went straight into mounting the toolboxes up underneath the bus. The hardest part for this was definitely getting the carriage bolts to line up exactly through the floor into the exact spot. From there, when you see all these sparks shooting me in the face, that's just me cutting the carriage bolts down to size so that they're not sticking out super long in there, and it just makes things a lot easier. To cover up these metal edges, all we did was get this stuff that has M3 on the back of it, and what we had to do because it was cold out and it was dark out was we used a heat gun on that basically to help the M3 stick as tightly as possible onto the bus. And what that does is basically cover up that ugly cut line and make everything look flush and clean, and they turned out really well. After getting these toolboxes on, I wanted to finish the inside because basically the outside at that point was mostly done. So I went straight into covering up cracks and little things and painting up, doing touch-up paint on stuff. Right here, I'm hitting up all these lines that you see from me covering up the cracks with caulk on these edges, so it gives it more of a flush feeling and more of a complete feeling when you look at it. From there, I went straight into framing out this window that's right next to the bed. So if we're at a cool place, we can have the window open and see out of it. It's kind of cool, it's neat. But I will say the weird part about it is at night, if you're in a cold area, even though you have a cover for the window so no one can look in, you still feel the cold air from that window. Windows aren't as nice for keeping air in. Once I got that window framed up, I just finished off the bed by putting plywood down. After that, I went into finishing the restroom. What we got here next is water tanks. We got 60 gallons of water, which is plenty of water. It's been phenomenal to have that much water. And surprisingly enough, when we were sleeping out here in 25 below, if you have the water inside and you have good insulation, my water has not froze at all, which I was very surprised by. Okay, right here, this part was very tricky. Taking apart this mechanism to keep that door closed, I did not expect it to be as hard to re-engineer a way to keep that as tight as it was. We went through at least 2 or 3 ideas. So thanks to my buddy Connor, he helped me put this amazing 10-inch touchscreen radio setup, which is perfect for when I put in 360 cameras. So I got no blind spots when I'm turning. I got a backup camera. It's one of the best installs that I've ever had, and one of the best things I could have done. From there, I went into finishing the kitchen setup by putting in the countertops, and I made the countertops butcher board style, which I got all the wood for free. I just took skid pallets and cut them to size and put them together. And that's how I got the countertops, which turned out very clean in my opinion. After that, I built the doors, came in here, put in the doors for everything. The only place I didn't put a door in is for this toilet section. I put a curtain in there because if the bed's down in the middle of the night and you have to pee, you can't open a door. So you can just slide open the curtain, go pee, hop back in bed, no big deal. One of the coolest things of this bus is the fact that I put a desk underneath a bed that flips up. So when the bed is flipped up, the desk flips down and you have a workstation or dinner table or whatever. And honestly, that's where I'm filming right now. So it's been pretty awesome to have that. Yeah, from there, just put in some stainless steel handles for all the doors and drawers. Okay, right here, you just see me doing a lot of detail stuff. Basically, I'm just putting in locks, putting in levers, making it easier so that when the legs come down, they stay down. When the bed goes down, it stays down, or it's easier to pop up, I should say. Also, lock setups for the legs so they're not swinging out and the table's not flipping down. This section right here was a bit obnoxious, but it was actually super cool that we did this. It frees up a ton of space to take out this box so that we can put in a chair for Sarah and she can have more feet room and leg room. What that box is just a simple switch that has a cord running straight to the alternator, and then basically it's a kill switch. So if the engine is on and you're driving, that's connected and that's what runs the radio and speakers and whatnot. However, if you have the engine off, you have to have that off, otherwise it'll just drain the battery dead. So basically I just moved that up against the wall right there, which worked out phenomenal. And honestly, this is one of the best things that came with the bus, because we ended up connecting our batteries to that so that anytime the engine's on, it's charging our batteries. Phenomenal. After moving that kill switch over on the side though, we went straight into putting in this chair. Now this chair is absolutely amazing. What we did was went to a pull and pay, got a chair. Technically we got 3 chairs from 3 different buses or vehicles, and found the components and basically put together this chair. So this chair is so cool because it moves forward super far and moves back super far, and it also has a full 360-degree spin. So if someone's over here working at the desk, someone else can be working over there, or it just gives you extra seating if you're just hanging out in the bus, which is super nice. Now going into doing what I'm about to show you was a little upsetting. My batteries were dying on the camera, so I couldn't record. Also, it was dark out, so it looked like crap with the little footage I did get. So I just put together this and kind of skipped along to what is about to happen, which is me putting in this back wall that you see right here, and the back walls turned out great. The reason I did that was so that we can have a trunk where we can put all sorts of stuff like bikes, rock climbing equipment, skis, everything you can think of we can fit back there. Also, right here in this section, this is that heater. This heater is awesome. So when the bus is on, this can heat up the whole place. There's a vent that sucks air in and then blows it back out, so it cycles the heat and just keeps everything warming up more and more. It's amazing. I love it. All right, here we go. Now we're getting into the nitty gritty, the battery setup. We're getting into the battery setup. Oh my God. All right, so videotaping this, literally, you guys are gonna thank me that I'm not showing as much as it did. This took about 4 or 5 days of doing, and the video footage is so crappy because all it is just us standing there in the same position, fiddling our hands back and forth, and you don't know what's going on. It's not like you just see install, install, install. No, it took a while because you have to figure out exactly how everything goes in. Basically though, what we got here, I'll go step by step what we got. This is an automatic transfer switch. So we have shore power connection. So anytime we get plugged into shore power, that automatically transfers the power so that we're running off of the shore power. If you don't know what shore power is, that means basically I can plug in to an outlet that's outside of the bus and I can charge from anywhere. The nice part about this though is if I unplug it, it switches back to the batteries, running off the batteries. But if I plug it back in, then it switches back to that. And then it also charges the batteries while giving us power. To the right of that, you see fuses, typical fuses, just like a breaker box. And then to the right of that is a DC-DC charger. So basically that is what helps provide the current from the alternator when we're driving. So if the engine's on, that helps provide energy to the batteries and charge the batteries while we're driving. So this right here is a battery charger, which anytime we're on shore power, I gotta flip that on so that it charges the batteries while we're plugged into shore power. And then naturally from there, we got a 3,000 watt inverter. To the right of that, we have a battery kill switch. So if I wanna shut everything down, I can just flip that and everything is disconnected from the batteries. Right back in there, I got 200 amp hour lithium batteries, and these batteries are amazing. Now the best part about this setup is I framed out in wood this little area so that we can mount everything to. On top of that, with the spacing that we have, I can move the inverter farther down and I can fit at least another 4 batteries in there. So the plan is to definitely add more batteries, but then I'll have 600 amp hours total. But yeah, that's basically our complete electrical setup. With putting all that in, we got certain outlets. We got 4 outlets set here for the kitchen. We have another 2 outlets on top of our cabinets, and then another 4 outlets that are close to the bed and the workspace, which that's plenty of outlets for us and it works perfectly for us. That basically summarizes all of our electrical setup right now. I plan on in the future throwing a deck on top and putting solar panels on the roof, but until then, this is what we got. After finishing the electrical, I went straight into finishing up the kitchen. I put this sink in, and then after the sink dried and everything, I put a faucet in. The nice part about this faucet is it has a little engine motor in it, so basically it pumps the water for you, so I don't have to have a pump somewhere else. It just automatically pumps the water for me. And what I'm doing for my gray water tank is basically I just have a straight drop down into a 5-gallon bucket that's strapped into that bottom cabinet setup. It can be a little bit of a pain in the ass doing that, but it's totally worth it because I don't have to add a tank underneath. I don't have to do all this stuff. It's simple. I just got to make sure I don't fill it up too high, and I can go dump the water. After finishing the kitchen, I just did some final touch-up spots, putting in this curtain, adding a hangboard, and here's the final clip of what it looks like now with everything done and us already living on the road. All right, time to get to the fun part, what you've all been waiting for. How much does everything cost? Okay, so we bought the bus for $5,500. After tax, it was close to $6,000. From there, the most expensive thing we had was the paint job. That's $4,000. So right there, we're already at 10. And you're like, holy crap. That's just painting it. That's nothing else. That's just buying the bus and painting it. Holy crap. From there, we got another $1,000 probably in toolboxes. We got another $2,100 to $2,200 for the electrical, and then probably around $6,000 for all the lumber and everything that we used. So in total, I know it doesn't add up with me saying this right now to the final number, but we had a couple variances and I can't remember off the top of my head what all the other expenses were, but it ended up being total around $22,000. Now, this turned out to be a decent amount more than I thought it was going to cost us. I was estimating around $16,000. However, things come up, and really, if we're being completely honest, $22,000 for a home, that's damn cheap. So, yeah, a bit more expensive than we expected, but overall, very happy with it. Anyway, I appreciate you guys getting to the end. If you've gotten to the end and you like this video, please like and subscribe. I appreciate it, and I hope you enjoyed. This has been a long journey for me, and well, I'm happy it's done, and I'm happy I get to be here on the road. Anyway, you guys have a great rest of your day. Have a good one.
What's there to hold in the light of this moon? My mind keeps searching, but my heart decides